Ray Dalio, a billionaire and famous investor, really astonished everyone. PayPal has some pretty huge news, and one of the biggest brokers in the world will let crypto in the M1 and M2 keep moving up. What does this mean? And Ripple has the banks in a tough spot, right? That too we'll talk about. All I want from you is a big smile to send out those nice feelings. Hit that like button. Let's see if we can reach more than 3,000 likes on this video. I believe in you all. We're going to change things up a bit today. First, let's talk about the news, and then we'll talk about the price activity. The market is moving down a little bit today, before the FOMC meeting on Wednesday. It's okay. I want to start with the news, and then we'll get to the graph, even if it's part of the game. So the amount of money in the world keeps increasing. China's M1 money supply has grown. China's M1 is twice as big as the US M1, without counting the $8 trillion in savings accounts. The money keeps coming into the markets, and we've seen the famous graph that shows how Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies are like M2 and how they keep moving up and up. The question is, when will the money start coming in? When will we see the parabolic moves again? That is the main question. Now, if we talk about XRP, Ripple puts the banks in a tight spot. Paul Barron says that BPI has just tried to stop Ripple's banking license, XRP, RL, USD. Let's not forget who BPI stands for, an association that lobbies for businesses. BPI is the policy advocate and lobbying group for 42 of the biggest banks. BPI says that the public only got 2.5 weeks to look at Ripple's application, which isn't enough time for new banking apps that use cryptocurrencies. The response from the regulatory side implies that the traditional banking industry sees Ripple's crypto banking hybrid model as potentially problematic, which could affect the OCC's decision-making. The banks are scared. The banks don't want the crypto market to take their business away. Banks earn a lot of money. And if new players are coming in, people might want to go somewhere that has both banking and crypto, not just banking, right? Because of this, the banks are concerned and are trying to stop Ripple. We will see how this plays out. Whether Ripple does acquire the banking license, it will be very, very big for XRP and RLUSD. But we'll have to wait and see whether that happens. PayPal has made a significant announcement. It now takes Bitcoin payments. PayPal, the world's largest payment processor, now lets all U.S. businesses accept Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. It just made a huge jump in the U.S.
Yes.
We talked about this, I suppose, last night or the night before. Customers don't care if merchants start accepting a lot of crypto or stable currency. They will take use of the options they have. And if it's easier for them to use, stablecoins and then traditional credit cards like MasterCard and Visa, which are credit cards, they will spend what they need to utilize. Yes. It will be really interesting to see how this all turns out. Ray Dalio, a billionaire and famous investor, just said that 15% of your money should go to Bitcoin. Ray is saying no to BlackRock's 2% allocation to Bitcoin. Instead, he wants 15%. If the major funds, the huge money managers, and the financial gurus all start doing this. This might bring in a lot of money to the crypto market and Bitcoin. That would be a lot then. Once more, I will never tell you to purchase, sell, or hold. This is not financial advice. Always perform your own research before the site invests. I don't know what will happen from day to day. Did I know for sure that today we're going to witness a pullback? No, this is just the way things are sometimes. It was quite likely due of the FOMC meeting, but the morning was great, but in the afternoon we saw a sell-off. That means anything can happen. Ray now says that 15% of his wealth should go to Bitcoin. That is a lot and really shocking. And I think a lot of people will be surprised by what Ray said. Jerome Powell is departing very soon, Trump. I will miss him. There will be a big change at the Fed. So the opera between Trump and Powell, the head of the Fed, goes on. They saw each other a few days ago. He'll finish his candidacy next year, but not for a while. How soon is that? Today, tomorrow, this week, this month, this year? That's what people will be asking about Powell. And we'll see how this all turns out. We have the FOMC meeting this week, which is having an effect on the market. We'll talk about that in a minute. Interactive Brokers is a big name in finance. A lot of people in the US don't know what interactive brokers are, although they are large in Europe and Asia. Thinks about letting crypto stable coin funding for a brokerage account. So once more, a huge brokerage. We talked about Schwab coming into the market. Now, interactive brokers are thinking about letting customers use stable coins to fund their brokerage accounts. This means that users will be able to use stable coins to pay for their stock market accounts. So there is again proof that people will use stable coins if they need to. I believe that's right. I might be a little crazy about it, but I think that could happen. Bitwise also says that stable coins are going to increase up a lot. I think Bitwise is probably accurate about this because there has been a lot of talk in Washington about stable coins and how they will be used to buy US bonds. Again, the worry is that people won't use stable currencies, but I think I will. Please tell me in the comments whether you will utilize stable coins. Again, you might not be the right person to answer this question because you are already in the crypto market and know a little bit about stable coins, their history, and the laws that were put in place. However, most people don't really know what's going on with stable coins, so it might be a problem again, but we'll see. Now let's look at the price activity. XRP is currently at $3.16. Bitcoin is at 117.663, and Ethereum is worth 3,788. The market is down. The overall crypto market is down approximately 1.66%, but Bitcoin is only down 1.47%, so it's holding up. A lot of other assets are down 4, 5, or 6% because of the sell-off. We're seeing assets that went up, like CUI, go down 7%. These are assets that went up in the last day or two, are currently losing a little bit of money. XRP is holding up well. However, you can see that we went from 233. I suppose it's roughly a 5% swing since this morning. So it's a big swing, right? It's not nothing. Yes, roughly a 5% change. The market has gone down then. XRP is now at 314, which is support, not a lot of liquidations. I was searching for 341 million. I mean, there are liquidations, but not a lot of them. Most of them are on the long side, but there are a few on the short side as well. This is cool. I believe the retreat would have brought us a little bit more. I think that was a little bit of a profit taking, but a lot of the data right now, like the stochastic RSI and others, were at the bottom here. So I wouldn't be shocked if things changed here, but again, anything can happen, especially. Sorry, the meeting week, not the meeting minutes. The minutes come out a few weeks later. We also have the GDP coming out, so we'll have to wait and see. I told you, Yamasol, one day honey, one day onion. You're going to have some days up and other days down. We have seen XRP go up a little bit. It was at 3 and is now at 3.15. The stochastic RSI, on the other hand, says that we've sold enough. The question is, how much of a drop are we going to see? And the moving averages still show that this is a great buy. It's interesting that the full moving average was a sell and is now a buy. The 10-day went to a sell in the short run, but in the long term, it's a buy. And we received an Ichimoku base that doesn't lean either way. And all of the oscillators are in the middle. Momentum, which lasts for 10 days. MACD, which is $12.26, is also signaling to sell in the immediate term. This is fascinating. And if you look at Bitcoin, you'll notice that it's actually in a better place to sell than XRP. Do you think it's time to sell Bitcoin? Not likely. There can always be a pullback, though. There was a lot that happened today that might be connected to the gap. We talked about the gap that occurred over the weekend. It hasn't closed yet. There is only a little bit, 118 little, right, for that to happen. So maybe it does fill the gap. XRP also had a gap. We also observed that. So XRP might be bridging the gap too. So once more, you need to think about these options when making your choices. We don't know what's going to happen from day to day.